All right, the LA Chargers get a flurry of good news ahead of this Buccaneers game. And if you're new to the channel, we are Detroit Lions fans, but I even got the Chargers hat on for this one. We're Detroit Lions fans. Don't hide that. But this channel is all about the LA Chargers. It's just kind of an outside look into your team. So make sure you subscribe if you're a Chargers fan. You gotta, or maybe wait till the end of the video. Make sure you're like, yeah, okay. That guy actually kind of knows what he's talking about a little bit with the Chargers. Okay, here's the good news. As we look at it, one of the things that it's like, Wednesday, because you got the Wednesday, Thursday, and then the Friday injury report practice. Wednesday, Justin Herbert was not out there. And I was like, okay, don't like that. But if you look at it now, here, this was Thursday, and much better. Justin Herbert is back. He even says today that he's good to go in a press conference. Lad McConkey's back, limited. So that's all really good news. Another good news is that Khalil Mack didn't practice on Wednesday, but he's full because that was just a rest day. So it's Jalen Reagor, Pipkins, and Joey Bosa, which by now Joey Bosa is just like, it's not even a big deal. I mean, it's not like you're counting on him or anything. So here's good news number one. You have just your key players back. There's no way, obviously, without your starting quarterback that, it's like, who even cares? But he's back. So I say who even cares? Like, if he's not in, it's no good. So Lad McConkey should be good to go. Remember, he was a game-time decision last week, right up to the end, didn't go. Now he's just been limited. They're taking it slow with him. I think that's the right thing to do because good news number two, as you look at the playoff picture, I've looked at it a few different ways, few different sources, Twitter. You can see on the left-hand side there's the AFC, and you see the Chargers and the Broncos at 6 and 7 seed. The outsiders are at 6 wins, the Colts and the Dolphins. This is important because no matter what matrix you look at, the Chargers essentially have to win 2 out of the last 4 games they're in. If they win this week, you can see that they've got a 96% chance to get into the playoffs. So the good news is, man, I know last week was a heartbreaker. You hate losing to the Chiefs, the whole thing. But it's like, man, on year one of your rebuild, or of your new regime with Jim Harbaugh, new GM, you're going to make the playoffs. Like, this is crazy. Again, being a Lions fan, our first year with Dan Campbell, we went 0-10. And it's like, oh, my gosh. So to be in your first year right out of the gates, can't ask for anything more than that. And by the way, let me know, because again, I'm a Lions fan, but I enjoy watching the Chargers in the AFC. Let me know who's kind of like your second team that you're just kind of always rooting for. That probably an NFC team. Like, I always kind of like the whatever, right? Name the team. Like, yeah, I kind of root for them once in a while. Like their uniforms, like their story. Let me know in the comments. Okay, next good news is look at this schedule. We said just now you got to win 2 of the next 4 just because, and the reason that you have to win 2 out of the next 4 is because you did such a good job weeks 8 through 14 of winning, 5, 6 out of 7 or whatever it was there, this stretch of games. So now what does that mean? Well, now you got to win 2 out of your final 4, and 2 of those games are against no-namers. Or not no-namers. It's the NFL. 2 manageable games against New England and Vegas. And the other one is against Denver. You could beat Denver and lose all 3 of these and still make the playoffs. So, again, there's a million scenarios. Win 2, you're in. It's not like a magic number type of situation, but basically. So, win 2 and you're in. Now, something else that's kind of interesting, kind of fun. It's too early. It's painful, but it's also like, you can't help but look is Field Yates kind of releases his first mock draft, and he has them getting Tyler Warren, Penn State tight end. Now, I don't know if familiar with this guy at all, but he's just kind of perfect. He can block. He's like a fullback in a tight end's body in a lineman's frame that can catch. You're like, what? So
and it's going to be a
is
double
trick
pass.
play that Penn State ran.
Loads,
down there.
fires,
He's
deep
covered,
man.
catches
There
it with
is
like
Warren. Got it.
over
Touchdown, Penn State.
That's a tight end. I mean, there's a beast. So the bigger point on this is the Chargers, like I just said, are already in the playoff picture year one Jim Harbaugh. Mindset, mentality, everything has changed. Wait until you add pieces. Like, you haven't had a good GM drafting well for you smartly. What if you put together 2, 3, 4 draft classes? And that's what the Lions did, right? They started off Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson. You're like, oh, there we go. And the next thing you know, you've got Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold. And you start adding blue chip players that you drafted. So again, long way away from that. Who knows what they'll do, but you'll be picking in that 24 range, probably something, whatever, mid-20s. Maybe go Super Bowl. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? You're going to be a little bit more strategic. I think that's right where you want to be. Clearly, right? It means you went to the playoffs. You don't want to be where you were last year, where you're picking 4, and you're like, oh, geez, you're always in that, like, you're in between. That's the thing about the Lions did this for years. I know the Chargers did it for years, where you're picking like 9th, and there's 7 no-brainer blue chip players, and then you're always like picking two slots out of that. That's how it felt for the Lions for years. And you're like, well, if we're gonna pick 9th and 7, there's 7 really good players, we might as well be picking 21st, and that's where like our division rivals were, Packers, Vikings, and we're not getting any better players than they are. So anyway. You can tell I'm just like, come on, what are we doing? All right, as you look ahead to this game, Buccaneers, what a weird little spot this game is. Just because the Bucs have taken over the NFC South. So you're kind of like, all right, dang it. They're kind of good. They're the only team to beat the Lions this year. Sorry, I brought the Lions up more than I ever have in any video. I usually don't talk about them that much, but you got Stone Smart. A couple things to keep an eye on this game. Will Stone Smart play a little bit more? Will he have more workload? Disley's out. Like, what's that look like? He played well last game. Keep an eye on that. Can the Chargers' run game find some life against the Bucs defense? Here's why this is a big story. The Bucs defense just has not stopped the run very well, and that's kind of their thing, where they can just say, yeah, we play good defense and let Baker Mayfield do the best he can, and here we are. Got to run the ball. You got to run the ball and stop the run. If you can do that, you're in every game. Life's good. If you can't, it's brutal. It's just brutal. Next thing. Can the Chargers defense continue their hot streak against top NFL offenses, especially against a Bucs team that's going to be missing some key pieces? Bucky Irving, Mike Evans. This defense has just been incredible. They just keep things in front of them. They play smart, don't make mistakes, don't beat themselves. This defense is unbelievable. If you're a Chargers fan, you just got to be so pumped about what you've seen from your defense up until this point. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you let me know that other team that you kind of root for. If you're new to the channel, by now especially if you've watched this video all the way through, just hit that subscribe button. It should light up. It like sparkles when you light it up or when you hit it. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see all of you on the next one.